Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're here on our Monday night Zoom call that we do every single Monday night right here on vidifynz.com. And if you're brand new here tonight, you're going to hear some super exciting information about some golden drops that we are helping to bring into Australia and New Zealand. And we'll just show you what that looks like here. And I'll share just very quickly my own personal story because I think it's worth sharing. Almost 6 months ago, not quite, I heard about these drops and I tried them for myself. And I just put 10 drops in my coffee and had that daily for, well, still. But after about 5 days, I noticed that I was able to stop my asthma medication. So for me, that was profound. And I had obviously have had asthma for a long time. And I've been on steroids and have to have an emergency inhaler next to me. So there's some kind of an inflammatory response going on in my body, probably in relation to toxins, environmental stresses. Was not expected. I was trialing the drops to see whether this was a project that Serge and I could take on to help bring the drops into Australia and New Zealand. And hand on heart, I really didn't expect anything. And I had a miracle result and I called Serge really excited and I said, this product is absolutely doing what it says it's going to do. And we needed to test that on a few people that we love, our nearest and dearest. And the results that we heard coming back were just giving us more and more and more conviction about the effectiveness of a bioavailable curcumin that is low cost, high impact, German technology. It's 18,000% more bioavailable than pretty much anything on the market. And when it comes to solving one of the largest problems that we face, which is inflammation, these drops are really leading the charge. So we are excited and really proud of what we've been able to achieve in a couple of months, and through sharing, through the drops selling themselves, they really speak for themselves. The results are astronomical. We have really begun changing a lot of lives, and that's super exciting for us. So what you'll hear tonight is we'll go through a presentation. If you're brand new and you've never heard this before, hopefully you'll find this really engaging. We want to share the science, the technology, really what the drops are about, and then you'll hear some great testimonies in the middle, and then we'll come back and tell you about how you can get them as well. So yeah, we've got a lot to share tonight, so just bear with us.
No problem. I think we should just get into it. I'm always excited on a Monday night.
Just going to share the screen here with everybody. Hopefully you can see this.
Lynette, can you give me a thumbs up? You can see that? Oh, she's actually gone. Yeah. Okay, good.
Cool.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our presentation for Vita Wellness Global. So this presentation will take about sort of half an hour, so we shouldn't take too long. But again, you are going to find some pretty amazing information, something that I feel is disrupting the wellness industry. So I do obviously want to welcome you into something that is quite extraordinary. It's an industry first, and actually just of recent we were saying it's helping to solve a lot of problems, which we'll cover very soon. But firstly, we just need to do the standard legal disclaimer. The product is not intended to cure or prevent any disease. Please, if you've got any kind of chronic state of health and you want to try the drops and you're not sure, please consult your medical professional. Because this is predominantly from America, it is German tech, but from America, they have a standard disclaimer, which is it's not suitable for children 18 years or under, but here we have a vast amount of children on the drops, and we can cover how children can take those drops. So I'd like to always throw in that the testimonies that you will listen to tonight and read tonight are for entertainment purposes only. Sorry, I have to laugh at that every time, but anyway. We have enough. Okay. So inflammation is the root cause of a lot of health conditions, and this list could be pages and pages and pages long. But if you could read at your own sort of leisure, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to a lot that's on the list. And even from my own personal experience, I was pretty much fatigue, headaches, sometimes anxiety, skin conditions. I mean, there's just so many that relate to inflammation in the body. So, the bottom statement there is fantastic. It says at any given time, we're in a state of inflammation and degeneration, or healing and regeneration. And there's clearly, we all would rather be the latter, right? So, what is curcumin? And we've all heard of it, I'm sure of it, right? Everyone's heard of turmeric, but curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric, and it has been widely used in alternative medicine for thousands of years, especially in the East. And it's been pretty much scientifically backed as a very powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and has anti-cancer properties. And this is the National Library of Medicine in the US, because there's something that a lot of people don't realize, that curcumin has the power to solve a lot of things within the body and allow the body to heal. But what a lot of people don't know, and I certainly didn't know this in the very beginning, is that curcumin, especially with all these, look at that, almost 21,500 studies on PubMed.gov in the US, it's a US National Library of Medicine, is that the main consensus is that curcumin is actually really poorly bioavailable in the body. So what does that mean? It means that pretty much 90% of the standard curcumin you'll take will be excreted out of the body within a matter of minutes. It's actually, even in some articles I've seen, it's actually been regarded as actually quite volatile in the body, because curcumin is actually quite an oily substance. So it actually doesn't interact with water well, and we are predominantly a lot of water. So, but one promising thing was that a lot of the studies said that if there was a potential to have something at the nanoscale, we could then start to sit and tap into the potential of curcumin. So this is where it starts to get really interesting, because this is what we call bio-MS technology, and it is a game changer. This is just an animation of what's called a micelle structure. And what does a micelle structure basically do? It encapsulates the curcumin, which in this illustration, the curcumin is obviously in the middle, and encapsulates the curcumin. So basically it's able to protect that and deliver it into the bloodstream within the matter of minutes, and even has the incredible capacity of being able to cross into the blood-brain barrier. And we're seeing some remarkable results in cognitive issues. This is incredible, because basically 30 nanometers, 50,000 nanometers, just to give you an example, is the width of a standard human hair. So, I mean, that's pretty remarkable. So being able to make it that small, the benefits are we can use less curcumin, but way more effective. This is another amazing video that illustrates, say, native curcumin extract, which is generally what you will find in most stores, or capsules, powders. And that left one represents about 10% absorption. And our product is clearly on the right. And you can see how that starts to sort of break down and disperse really well and connect well with the water. So this is a patented technology, and we are one of 6 companies to be able to hold that patent. And we feel this is certainly an area where, in terms of what's called lipid supplements, which is obviously curcumin and a few others, we're going to start to be able to actually see and access that through nanotech. And as a result here, these studies were quite profound, really, because it showed that it was 277 times more absorbed or bioavailable in women, and about 114 times in men. If anyone wants to ask that question later as to why, I think we have a little bit on our hub as to why. But this is amazing, because what it starts to represent is, even at the cell level, the data shows that it was like 18,000 times more bioavailable, which Rebecca said before. And so these are the products that we have in the product suite. The first one is, I think you showed it before, is the NanoFi, which is this one here, which is curcumin and vitamin D3. So it is, it helps to respond to inflammation and oxidation and general intestinal challenges. But the next product is got ginger, vitamin C, and vitamin D, and obviously the nanofied curcumin to it. This product was actually bought out just around when COVID hit, and we've had incredible testimonials with things like long COVID and so forth. But quite a remarkable product. The difference is some people prefer one over the other. I mean, but that's generally up to the person taking it. The third one is one called the Synbiofi, which is it is very innovative, completely vegan. This one, and has an incredible formulation that that basically gives us around 5 billion colony forming units, which is quite remarkable. And serotonin is actually developed in the stomach, so about 90% up is where it forms in the stomach. So they call it the second brain, right? So in order to feel good, or at least get your body into a better state of health, the company devised these 3 products. One to help with your stomach, and obviously we want to obviously feel good. The second one was to deal with inflammation, which is obviously through the other 2 products. So how do you take it? And it is very, very, very simple. It's as easy as 10 drops a day in either coffee, tea, room temperature water, preferably nothing too cold, like especially refrigerated water. But it's easy, you know, every morning I put it in my coffee. It's just that simple. I don't think, I was just saying to Rebecca before, I haven't missed a day in months to be able to take it, and that's great, right? So it is a GMO-free, natural, and it is actually great for children and pets, aside from that disclaimer before. So, but in a nutshell, you know, we talk about, this is actually important because it's about, you know, feeling, you know, getting better sleep, better clarity. I was trying to remember the other ones, sorry. Increased energy, because that's something that I was struggling profoundly with before the drops, and reduce pain, right? So aside from everything that could come of that. So let's get into the testimonials, and we always like stop the presentation here because we love live testimonials. There's nothing like it. It's probably my favorite part of a Monday. You remember who was going to?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of people that putting up their hands to give some testimonials, and as I shared earlier, you know, my own story, my own result with the drops completely surprised me. The power and the efficacy of this bioavailable curcumin being such a powerful natural anti-inflammatory. But you know, it's not just in my situation. We've got across the board, we're hearing stories and testimonies. So we'd like to maybe ask Debbie if you could share your story.
Yeah, hi. I started on the drops on 28th of June. And prior to that, I was going out of a state of PTSD, burnout. I had lots of aches and pains. I couldn't sleep, fatigue, brain fog. Actually, I was thinking I was going dement at times because I just forget things so quickly. I had my IBS back, my liver was swollen, tinnitus. And what my experience is, and that's not a typical one, within half an hour of taking the drops, I noticed that my eyesight improved. I could see much clearer. And I noticed that my breathing was much easier. I could actually inhale much like a larger volume. I wasn't aware of that before. And it's funny with this because you only discover when you take the drops how many things were wrong with you. And I'm feeling a bit embarrassed because I'm a natural health therapist. So, but anyway, from top to bottom, I had the fatigue. I couldn't sleep. I was suffering from depression. I had an injury in my neck, which was playing up and was very sore. My shoulders were hurting. I had like a frozen shoulder for some time, and that was slowly healing up. That went. I had sciatica that went, and that went as well. My hip joints were really hurting. Walking at times was really difficult. And my knees started hurting as well. Oh gosh, I'm really going down the drain here. And my ankles were hurting and had neuropathy in my toes. So that's in a nutshell me. And I have tinnitus as well. And I noticed that, it's an amazing story. That in 12 days, 95% of my problems were gone. And my energy was back. And I feel my life is back, because I really thought I was on my way out, because nothing worked really on me, what I was doing. So yeah, I'm totally converted. And I just want to share a story. I was just dog sitting this last weekend, and this dog had, as a pup, she was neglected, and she went through the earthquake in Christchurch, and it gave her such a shock that her pancreas actually wasn't working properly, and she had lots of health issues. Now, she was 13 this year. She was very thin. She couldn't keep her weight on, and she was not able to walk very well. She was staggering. The vet gave her another formula, which helped a bit. But when I was there, she couldn't actually walk out of the gate very much. I live on the lavender farm in Carterton. And there's a bit of plug. And she couldn't get actually much more out of the gate. And just watched us walking. On the previous time was dog sitting there. But this time, she was actually walking, and it was much more steadier. And we actually did 3 walks in like within one day, and that was unheard of. And she was actually, very lively. And yeah, I'll put a video on the
Amazing. So how many drops did you give her?
I gave her, when I was there, I gave her twice a day, 1 drop, 2 drops actually. And the owners also have been giving her drops, but I was amazed. And on hindsight, I had a similar breed of dog, a Briard, and she was very, very poorly last year, and she drank from she had an infection in her bowels from E. coli, and then she developed a kidney infection. And I thought, if I'd only known about these drops last year, she would still be here. And that was kind of,
Yeah.
So my mission is to help as many people and as many pet owners.
Just very quickly, I was actually there when Debbie first heard about the drops, because I got a call from a naturopath friend who said, I've got 2 friends on the phone. I need you to talk to them about the drops right now. They need to know about this. They've got people they can help. And this was about 7 o'clock in the morning. And so we did a call, and Debbie and Philip were on the call, and I just shared, my experience and what's been happening with the drops. And you're very open-minded, and had he not reached out like that, you may not have heard about them. So we just thank God that this is so life-changing, that so many people are starting to hear about the drops through what we're able to share and who we can reach out to. So amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you for bringing it into New Zealand, because it's really heavy to
Thank you.
It's been a joy and a pleasure. We've got Liz, I think. Where are you, Liz? Liz said you'd if you could. You've got to unmute first. That helps.
Hello. Hi. I'm one of these people that doesn't really have a major testimony of, miraculous, like the last one, which was absolutely inspiring. But, I also am a mid-50s, pretty healthy, but I noticed after about 4 to 5 weeks, just suddenly I realized I had so much energy, brain clarity and wellness in my digestive system, and yeah, fantastic. But one of the other testimonies I wanted to share was with my friend who had really bad edema in her legs, and we've put her photos up on the Disruptive Wellness, but within a week all the fluid in her legs and her body is gone. She's had challenges for a long time, and it's causing her, the drops are causing her to have her peace and joy, and her mental health is like just improving all the time. So remarkable that her family are all commenting, and what are you taking? So yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Just life-changing. We've had a lot of stories, not just about physical health improvements, but mental health, PTSD, anxiety, depression. We had a fantastic testimony in our hub the other day with a friend who's a 5-year-old has been taking the drops in little gummy bears that mum's making for him, and he's on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, with speech and learning difficulties, and teachers, speech therapists, everybody's noticing a radical improvement. So it's just really, really life-changing. So we know that there's a huge market for these drops. We're going to get Loz to share as well. That's okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm pretty new to this group, but I've been using the drops for about a week now, just a week. So I've been really kind of, taking check of, how it's been rolling out. But actually there was one thing that was kind of just hands down, is that I broke actually both of my big toes at different times in my life and get quite a lot of pain in them. So, so that I can't, go up on my tiptoes, or if I'm, I've got a rug or something over the top of my feet, the weight of the rug, it can be really quite painful. And yeah, it's gone. The pain is not there. It's really bizarre. And yeah, so that's just my 1 week in observation. I'm just sharing.
Incredible. What we know is
Thank you.
thank you. Curcumin really works to activate detox pathway that activates the liver. It can block pain pathways in the body. And so obviously we're dealing with inflammation all the time. We've got chronic inflammation, and then we've got acute inflammation that might be sort of occurring daily as a result of many things, environment, type of work that you do, toxins, etc. But certainly reduction in pain is one thing across the board. Improved sleep, better clarity, and more energy. No matter how your inflammation is being expressed in the body, in any type of disease state, you can pretty much say that the curcumin is having very similar effects across the board. And it's just really interesting to see how your body is able to change the scope of your well-being when you introduce these drops into your diet. This is not a therapeutic, it's not a medicine. I mean, it's a natural medicine, if you like, but curcumin comes from non-GMO organic turmeric grown in India. And, we've been able to mix science and natural medicine now for profound impact in people's lives across the board. Pets. And one thing about pets, you'll probably touch on that anyway. We'll come back to the slides. We'll definitely come back after the slides are finished. And if anybody else wants to share their stories, I'd love that, because we are recording, so I want to grab as many of these testimonies as possible. But we still have lots more to share, so keep your questions till the end as well, and we'll just come back. But thanks, 3 of you, for sharing. I know there's a bunch more here, but we'll just come back and finish the presentation.
Yeah, so these are our written testimonies, and you've got Rebecca's on the bottom right there. Denise is on the call here. It's Rebecca's mum. And she's seen a lot of, I won't say a lot, I mean, the wording there is huge improvement in her osteoarthritis. She's able to grip a lot better. She's had remarkable results too for her husband. Our little granddaughter is way less anxious. So when you talk about kids, it's basically 1 drop per year, or how old they are. So in her case, it's 3. So she'll have 3 drops a day. And she certainly has been a lot calmer. So that's quite
and actually, and more outgoing. It's
Yeah.
an interesting one, calmer and more outgoing at the same time, so less anxious overall.
The next one is pretty remarkable, because Liz was talking about the inflammation in the feet, and this one it did blow me away when I first ever saw it when we got involved in the business. Was that's just a few days apart, to have the foot that inflamed and then back to basically almost pretty much normal size. Things like IBS, the picture on the top left. Now, I would say this is pretty much the combination of the drops and potentially the Symbiofy, which I mentioned before, with the ability to sort of help restore the stomach. But yeah, IBS, remarkable results there. The lady on the top right, after 100 days, you can pretty much see the massive changes in her face. Also, when it comes to things like eczema, even there's incredible testimonies around psoriasis, lots of skin conditions and so forth. But pets, this is, I mean, obviously we had one before from Debbie, but I heard this the other day and I thought it's quite remarkable. You know, some of the testimonials that you'll hear, see, one of the groups will show you in a minute, which has almost 19,000 people in it, and people sharing their personal experiences on the drops. You know, sometimes you hear them and you go, "Is this kind of too good to be true?" And I'll be really honest, I was kind of in that space originally. I was like, really? People are getting kind of results like this? Not that everyone gets results, say, in you know, a couple of days or a week. It's amazing to hear, but some people might take it a little longer. But this is something that I really want to tell you, because I had someone say, "Oh, is it kind of placebo, right?" When you start getting kind of results like that, kind of miraculous results, you can't placebo an animal. You just can't, right? So there's a vast amount of testimonies for cats, you know, dogs and horses, which we want to welcome you to this group. If you're not already in Disruptive Wellness, please get the person that invited you to add you to this group. We are in the admin, so we can keep an eye out for you. Was I right? 19,000 people now? It's crazy. So there you can go to the search part of it. You can see there with the big red arrow. You can put in there anything that you might have. For argument's sake, you might have arthritis, or sleep might be an issue for you. And you can put it there and you pretty much come up with a list, a pretty long list of people and sharing their experiences.
Yep.
And this is about taking control of our life. Whether you want to pose like that or not, it's up to you. But what keeps us awake at night, right? So we, you know, this day and age, or any day and age, we want to solve problems, you know. So at the moment, you know, our health and our finances, most people are sort of pretty much affected in a lot of ways in that area. And obviously the challenges that we're facing at the moment with, you know, inflation going up, staggering here in Auckland, you know, unleaded petrol is up over, or it's around $3 now, which is just staggering. Food prices are increasing. Everyone knows that here, right? I mean, you don't have to live under a rock to realize. So we want to find a solution for inflammation, which is obviously through the drops, and inflation, which we're going to talk about how the drops can help your finances. So this is what we feel is an incredible solution, because it's a low-cost, affordable business, which you can work part-time from home, and you can earn residual income. Oh, sorry, that was me hitting that. Work from home, pretty much in Australia and New Zealand, or the rest of the world, which I'll cover soon, the countries that are applicable. This is the beautiful part. There is no retirement age to this. You don't need qualifications. You are your own boss, but you are in this as an independent business person, but you're not alone in doing that. So we call it a form of affordable franchising. But, you know, in order to do that, we want to really look at the company in itself. And I know when we first started this, we thought, amazing product. What are the owners like, right? Are they heart-centered? Are they integral, ethical? And we have to say that they are. I mean, we've had the opportunity to meet Shane and Laura Brady. They are the founders of Vidify. They own 90% of the company. It's not floated. The other 10% is owned by additional family members. Shane has a vast amount of experience of 20 plus years in the corporate sales for the supplement industry. He said three key things that really stuck to me. One was, he said, in the supplement industry, especially with what's called lipid-based supplements, which is like curcumin, is that bioavailability was a major concern, right? So people won't be able to access what these supplements could actually do. The second one was to, you know, embark on this with love as opposed to fear. because starting or expanding internationally can be a fearful thing, right? Because you're always going to come up against certain things and so forth in any kind of business, but they want to leave this as a legacy business for them. So he said many times that he doesn't want to sell this, he wants to leave it for his children. The company has been we call it organically growing, because Rebecca put it today really well. It was kind of a belly to belly business in 2016 coming out of Mexico, and Shane and Laura have lived in Mexico for over 12 years. So belly to belly means people just talked about it, and it grew into the likes of through most of South America, Colombia, Dominican Republic. As of about almost 3 years ago, went into the USA, and Europe officially launches next week officially, and we are pre-launching, and we'll cover that in a minute, pre-launching in Australia and New Zealand, and now in Canada. So in any business, you want to get in at the right time, and we are heading into that period right as we speak. And the growth, I mean, there's a lot of people here that can testify to that. The growth is starting to really, start to take some real pace. So we are here, we are where that orange dot is. We are in this place right now, and I'll cover some things around the openings of Australia and New Zealand very soon. But this is about a pre-launch market. We want to get you to understand what that is. We are paving the way. We are one of the fastest growing teams pretty much in the Vidify world, which we can tell you a little bit more about in a minute. And but I always love to pass this on to Rebecca. It's we call it a business in a bottle, so she can just share with you how you can actually help your finances as well as your health.
I just want to stop this share and actually share a different screen really quickly with you while we're on this topic of talking about the market for this product. I really just want to take you to the Disruptive Wellness Facebook page quickly, because we might not get a chance to do that at the end. So what I'd like to do is just share the screen here and show you, can find, yep. So hopefully you can all see this page here. So this is the Disruptive Wellness Facebook page that we were talking about, and we're really fortunate to have a product that is such high impact and that is affecting and changing lives around the world. So when I looked at Vidify about 5.5 months ago, this group had 9,000 members. So that's 19,000 members right now. And what you can do on this is just use the search function, and you can type in, for instance, a keyword of interest. The diabetes is there. And what you'll find is every post that has a relevance to a particular condition or story or testimony that somebody has. This is a little bit graphic, but diabetic sores are incredibly difficult to heal. I love that photo, that image, because it shows the power of the drops. We've got blood work changes from doctors showing up here. They're posting. We've got lots of doctors now starting to champion and advocate these products. This doctor in particular, Dr. Jeremy Thornton, has 1,000 of his patients on the product. And he is, very, very much behind this product, because as you can see in this image, blood work markers are reducing in certain levels. So we've got incredible stories, lots of information, lots of great testimonies. And this other one here, which we will show you as well, which is our global hub. I know I'll come to this in a minute, but I do want to show you a couple of these great testimonies that we've just got ourselves from some of our local people here in New Zealand, having such great results on the drops. This incredible one here is Donna. She's a naturopath in Hamilton. She started taking the drops. She put a couple of drops on. She had skin cancer. This is her after shot. Oops, sorry. And this is her before shot in July. So she had a skin cancer on her nose, a couple of drops topically and a few drops orally. And she said the sore started opening up and draining out. This is the one that Liz was talking about earlier, the Oedema. And we've got, of course, our lovely testimony here with just a written testimony, just using the drops to make little gummy bears for children. So I just wanted to share that because it's just super powerful. I really, really would love you to understand the power of the drops. Okay, I'll just come back to the rebels. Coming back to. So we're talking here about what we call a business in a bottle. And rather than just read through the slides, I just want to sort of talk through the experience of this, because this is not like any business I've ever done or been involved with or been a part of. So this is sharing a product that is having life-changing effects, being an entrepreneur, an impact-driven entrepreneur, and making something really significant happen in the world. So just want to keep that in mind. So we'll talk about how to get these wholesale kits. At this stage, while we're in pre-launch, the product is not available for resale or for retail in Australia and New Zealand. So the only way you can get your hands on the product at the moment is to either buy a bottle or two from the person that referred you to come and have a look at this Zoom call, or to buy your own wholesale kit and get yourself set up with wholesale product. And of course, then when you have your own wholesale product, you can use that, you can share it with friends and family, you can post it in the mail like I did to a whole bunch of people that you know need it, you can sell it off at retail, and you can start building a distribution business if you're keen to do that. So there's so many options available. And what you do get with a wholesale kit is a 50% discount on all the products. So that's a huge markup in Vidify. So I'll run through the 3 kits that you can purchase. And we've got a 250 PV kit, which is 349 USD. That would be considered a personal use product. You get 4 bottles of Nanofy and 5 bottles of Curcumin Plus. Now, 1 bottle of product lasts about a month if you're taking 10 drops a day. If you have a really chronic health challenge, you probably need more than 10 drops a day. You might be needing 20. And we have known people to take 30 drops a day. And have really, really great results if they have some chronic health challenges. So this one here is a personal use product. And why we love this business and this model is because the company sets aside so much of the profit to pay back to people that are sharing. So it's referral marketing, it's relationship marketing, we're sharing the product, and there's commission payable on every single bottle of product. So there's 100% retail markup, but there's also commission on the wholesale value. So you're getting a $60 US commission if you share this product with somebody and they buy a wholesale kit. So there's no limit to how many people you could potentially share who could purchase at wholesale just to set them up, sells up with wholesale product. You know, it's really, really good value. This kit here is about 18 bottles of product, and you're looking at 545 USD. This is a New Zealand only kit. Now, the reason why we have a New Zealand only kit is because we have lovely customs, and customs love to tax everything. So we want to try and keep, what's coming in at the moment under the tax threshold until we open, which will be in a couple of months' time. And then we'll be able to just order direct and have product shipped direct. And you'll have lots of customers that can also do that. So this kit here has $120 US commission attached to it. So really the company are giving 20 to 25% commission back for referring the product, for sharing the product. And it's very, it really helps you at least pay for your own product, and certainly have enough to share and sell if you want to do that. And there's an Australian kit and a Europe kit as well. This one has 22 bottles of products, a little bit more, it's 699 USD, and the same commission back on that kit. So if you're living in Australia and you're tuning in, you might be thinking about a 500 PV kit, which is a little bit different to the New Zealand one. And the last one here is really a Business Pro kit. This is 48 bottles of product. So if you're in the natural health industry, if you've got a clinic, if you're interested in having a lot of bottles that you can retail, or to really build, a lucrative distributorship, it's a great one to start with, and very, very cost effective. And there's 250 USD commission on this kit. So there's no limit, again, as I said, to how many people you could share this with. And the value of this pack is over 4,000 New Zealand dollars and Australian dollars. So that's in the product value at retail. So there's lots of ways that we encourage people who are coming on board to get kits, maybe get a hubby a kit or a business kit, and have access to lots of product, and also get lots of commissions back, so it covers the cost of your any outlay that you might make. It's seriously the best compensation rewards plan I've seen in this type of industry. So when you sign up and get a wholesale kit, you get a website and a virtual office as standard. So you get those wholesale discounts we mentioned, you get 100% retail profit, and you are eligible then for weekly bonuses and commissions. You've got lots of support. And of course, this can be a legacy for many, many people. So when you're looking at a business to get involved with, rather than, mortgaging your house and investing a lot of capital in a bricks and mortar type business, which is very risky, and especially, during the times of uncertainty, a lot of people in New Zealand especially, I know, lost their businesses. And so a lot of people lost their jobs. This is really an opportunity that I really have to say, I've been in different industries in my life. I've been in wellness industry, and I've certainly run other businesses before. I've not seen something so generous, so with so many possibilities attached to it. And so what you're looking at is, how do you qualify something that you might give some of your time and energy to and invest into? And really what you're investing is a very, very low cost amount. It's a very high impact product, and it is a product that's backed by science. So this is really what distinguishes us and sets us apart. We've got science backing. In this exclusive pre-launch market positioning, this is a once in a lifetime type of opportunity. You can grow exponentially from anywhere. I've been doing it over the last few months. I traveled to Australia, every state in Australia, back to New Zealand, still growing my business all the time. And we have 4 generations in our business, and it's just the most fun. I get to work with my mum, my partner, my fiance, and my daughter. So it's just wonderful. And of course, you can start immediately. And the reason why we've been the fastest growing organisation or team in the company's history, and when I talk about that, it's like, well, I had a goal when I started this to share the product with as many people as I possibly could in a short period of time. And I really only shared with a handful of people, but they went out and shared with their friends, and that grew to hundreds and hundreds of people. Now thousands of people have had the product. And we made a deal that we wouldn't pursue something like this and invest into it if we couldn't be making at least $10,000 a month, because we both do other things, and I have other business. And we did that turnover in 6 weeks. So it's very lucrative. This is an actual example of Denise's process when she started her business, just through referring to 3 friends and family members who purchased a kit. So in this real scenario, Denise purchased a kit 500. Her sister got a 250. Her friend Britt, who's on the call, got a 500 kit. And Margaret, who's also on the call, got a 1250 kit. So Margaret's here in New Zealand, and Denise and Antoinette and Britt are over in Australia. But there's no barriers to how this can be run online. And so Denise received commissions back from these kit purchases to the tune of $848. So she invested her $6.99. She's got 22 bottles of product. She's got back all of her commissions. Even if we deduct what she's initially invested, she's still over 2,000 Australian dollars in profit. And this was done in her first 2 weeks of starting. So, and just to comment, Denise might share a little bit of her own story, but I pulled my mum out of retirement to help me, get this mission and this project going, and it's been very successful. So, as I mentioned earlier and showed you very briefly, we do have a lot of resources and support. This is also why we're very confident in helping you be able to share the product, develop a business model. We train everybody. We have access to lots of self-directed learning resources on our hub. So the hub, we have a Facebook page, which you can send anybody to, and it's got some great little presentations and interviews with doctors, etc. So we've got lots of tools here. And it's as simple as inviting, sharing and tagging. So we are based predominantly around social media. However, if that's not something that you do, you can certainly build a business through email and through phone and real relationships as well, just as they did in Mexico in the early days. The hub, which I just showed you a little bit earlier, has hundreds of people in it now, and we are always updating that daily. Everything you need to know about the product, the science is there. We've got videos, we've got interviews, things that you can send and share. We've got every single thing that you could possibly need to help you get off the ground and running. We have a great guide section in the hub, which has step-by-step information on how to get started, what to do, how to do it, everything you need to know. So we wanted to create something when we started this mission that was going to be duplicatable for us, for our teams, and our teams' contacts as well, so that we could really scale this in a big way and have the sort of the massive success and it's at speed with which we've been able to achieve that. So we have everything available, and just to sort of let you in on that. And obviously Monday nights is the call that you're on right now. So we do this every single Monday night. We have our presentation on lots of different testimonies, and we've got a Q&A every Monday morning live in our hub that goes for generally about 40 minutes or 45. And so we try to keep all the relevant support going so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just plug yourself in and your friends, your contacts, your networks into the system, and they can certainly benefit from what we've put together. So before I finish this slide, I just really would invite you again to feel into what this possibility is, and whatever your circumstance might be at the moment. There's so many ways you can access the product. You can certainly buy it at retail, you can buy it at wholesale, and you can be able to share it with people and really make an impact and a difference in people's lives. So just we're all connected to the people that invite us along on the journey. So of course, just get back to the person that has invited you for tonight, and they can give you a lot more information. Today is just a bit of a taster, but we'll come back and just answer some questions now and see how everybody's tracking. We've got good numbers. We've got about 30 people in our call, which is great. We love that. Lots of beautiful new faces as well. So we're just going to go to a chat and see what we've got.
If anyone that wants to just unmute and ask a question, please feel welcome. One thing I would like to say, though, it is a bit of information, when your first time to get onto one of these presentations. Everything that we have shown you is accessible through the Better Wellness Global Hub. So don't feel like, oh man, I didn't write that down, or I forgot, or so forth. Someone asked about science, if I'm right, and effectiveness.
Yep.
Lorinda, that is available on our hub in the science part of it. So if you scroll down to science, you'll have access. Also, there's a Telegram group that we could add you into if you wanted to. That's even more extensive when it comes to the science. So if that's something that anyone here loves, go, please knock yourself out over there. But this is the beauty of, I think, the resources that has been created. Is I've said this many times, is we're not here as health professionals. We're not here as scientists, or I'm certainly not a naturopath or whatever. But the information for that is readily available, right? So if someone asks you a particular question about something, you just go to that resource and you can share that resource with them. And that's one of the reasons why we created the Better Wellness Global Hub, was so that you are able to bring, and Rebecca said it before, you're able to bring your people in, and any questions that they have, you can tag them in the relevant answer.
Yep.
So what that does is it helps you to duplicate the process very quickly, and somebody else can go, oh, I can do that.
Yep.
That's simple. They won't get involved in any kind of business that will seem overcomplicated. But do I have to know the science? Do I have to know, the history of the company? Do I, and no, you don't. You just basically go to the resource, and they go, well, that's easy. If that's all I've got to do, yeah, I'm in. I'm keen.
Yep.
Right.
And there's a couple of questions coming up about the science and the Telegram group. I'm actually going to show you how easy this is. So I'm going to share again the screen, which is this one here, with you, and just come back to our hub. So can you just let me know if you can see that hub again? Just a second. Yep, great.
Good.
So this is the hub here, and what you've got across the top is the guides section, which you really need to know about. And then there's a great search bar. Events like our Monday night call invite. If you just click on events here, there's the invitation for the Monday night. And then you can, click on that and send it, share it as you like. We've got files in here, lots of the science documents in here if you need those. And certainly, let's just show you, if we want to find the Telegram link, you go to the little search bar here and you type in Telegram. Oops, Telegram. And then all the posts with the relevant Telegram information come up. So you can say, okay, this looks like the one we're looking for. This is a screenshot of all the different studies in the particular Telegram group. You can send that to somebody if you like, who's also on Messenger. And for what we'll do, I'll just copy this now in as a link, and I will come and paste it in the back in the chat. Where am I here? Where's the chat gone? Oops, one sec. Here. So I'm just posting the Telegram link there. Oh, is it to join?
So just a really good, simple example of how, we're all busy people, right? We're all busy. So the last thing you want to think is, oh man, I've got to be, spending countless hours on trying to find information. No, it's pretty much go into the search, type in what you need.
So that's Telegram.
And that's the Telegram group that's there for. Now that one particularly, it is you have to be invited by somebody that's in the group already.
So we are.
So,
you're invited.
Yeah.
And just so coming back here, just really quickly to back to the hub. We use the hub for everything because we've spent a lot of time putting it together. So you come back to the hub page here. So if you go into the guide section, this is our live Q&A that we did this morning. So the guide section, just to show you what sort of stuff you've got access to here. There's some welcome posts here. Everything about getting started, step by step, everything you need to know about how to learn about the business, how to send an email out, what pitch, how to talk about the product, what the prices are, everything about product information here, the data sheets, why it's so much more bioavailable, the wholesale kit prices. There's a whole guide on science, medicine and technology here, which has lots of really cool, graphics and things that you can use. Links to PubMed, which we've referenced in the presentation tonight. Even the presentation we used tonight is available in the hub, so you're welcome to it all. You can print it out, you can download it, you can practice, you can share it with your own friends. If you were setting up a market stall, or like some of our teammates are living in a retirement village and they have the presentation printed in a folder and a little stand set up with some drops for their neighbors. I mean, there's so many ways you could go about doing this. We've got a whole guide here on testimonials, and I always just love the visuals because I think they're so powerful. We've got some of these we've used in our slide presentation. You can use the drops topically. You've got other conditions that we didn't really touch on. This is a friend of ours now who's had incredible results with Hashimoto's and her own skin inflammation. This is what I did when I first started, and I was so impressed with the drops. I bought 12 bottles and just put them in the post and sent them out to everybody and said, please try this for a month and let me know how you go. And pretty much every single one of those people got back to me and has joined me in the business on the journey. So people have their lives changed. They're so inspired by what these drops are doing. So, just coming back, we've got all of these guides down here, all of our calls that we record, business building training, videos, you name it, it's all here. You can even order flyers and brochures and have them customized. Our daughter is a graphic artist, so she does all of that for us. You've got all the events, everything is here. So, alrighty, more questions? Yeah. Getting busier. Yep. So the one we quote about the 277 times that's a study done specifically with our product, and that's all available. So the actual study is there, and showing the time that the product is retained in the blood, and comparing to other products that were also tested in the same study. So yes, but Oh, you want to tell about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this like a billion times now, but it's so important is that it is a science-backed product. And one thing Shane did say about 3 weeks ago is that, you know, in any kind of business, it's not about the hype and the marketing. I mean, obviously marketing helps, right? But it's something gets out into the market because it's hyped up, right? But is it actually being effective? And this isn't a hyped product, right? It's actually a science-backed product. The testimonials are into the thousands. Now, Disruptive Wellness has 19,000 members to it, which share a lot of testimonials. In South America, that dwarfs that. I mean, we know of one lady doctor who has over 3,000 personal testimonials from her patients that she actually talks about in a video. Remarkable.
Also on the Hub, the videos on the Hub. So she's interviewed by Stephen Keller and talks about her own personal experience with her husband as well, and people that were on death's door. And she's very, very careful about how she communicates that, because this is not a therapeutic, it's not a drug, it's a natural supplement, it's a food supplement. So we're not making any outrageous claims about the product at all, other than that it's solving one of the major issues that's been around in the supplement industry forever, which is when you take supplements, generally, you're peeing out 95% of them. You're only retaining a very small amount of whatever can get through the gut lining into the bloodstream is what's effective in the body. So because we've been able to solve that major problem with absorption and bioavailability, the body is now just switching on and doing things that, you know, we always hoped it could do if it had curcumin in it. So
anyone want to unmute and ask a question, even, please feel welcome.
Just a question again, and so if you want to send it overseas, so you state that it's digestive drops, nothing else. Yeah.
we're,
Supplement.
yeah, just a natural supplement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Food supplement, something like that. You could put nutritional supplements, probably the best. Yeah.
How many people here are from New Zealand? Like, just raise your.
No.
Yes, Andy from Dunedin. At least I know you're new, but you know, just to let you understand, we are in pre-launch, right? But we're actively both working with the owner in relation to getting New Zealand up and running, as well as Australia is in the process of registration. So if I talk about New Zealand, the registration process is about 3/4 of the way, right? So the owner said the other day that he's picking that it would probably be a full 3 months before we're like everything's crossed off, like the corporate entity set up. There's a couple of labeling requirements that have to be changed, because obviously every country has their own you know, what's represented on the bottle. So but it's all going really well for us here in New Zealand, so it's just a bit of a process. Why I want to bring that up is about, you know, we talk about timing, and once we're open, you'll be able to start to access the customer part of it. At the moment, it's about more becoming a distributor, but once we're open, you'll be able to start accessing customers. What does that mean? It means that, you know, if I've got someone down the road that wants to buy it, I can send a link to that person buys whatever quantity they want through that link, and the company themselves will send it directly to them, and then they pay you the commission on that, or the retail sale part of that, back into your e-wallet within a week, which is fantastic. So if you're getting into this position right now and you build yourself a pretty good team of people, is that once we actually fully open, everyone starts to access customers, and accessing customers greatly increases your ability to create a lot of volume in your business. And yeah,
and here's just a little math for you, is for if you had 100 customers on 2 bottles a month, that's $100,000 profit just for retailing to those 100 customers a year, $100,000 a year. net profit. So, you know, this is great for potentially for people that have clinics that have access to, you know, 100 clients. But if you're really committed to this, you can go out. There's nothing to stop anybody from going out and getting 100 customers when we open. And at the moment, if you want to stock hold, you can order in bulk and you can have product and you can still go out and, you know, be sharing the product. So the sky's the limit. But if you might have that, and maybe it's not 100, maybe it's 10 customers, but let's just hypothetically say you have 100 customers and you've got a team of, you know, 100 distributors who you're working with, and they each go out and get 100 customers as well. That's a lot of volume going through your business, and you get paid on all of that volume. So you get paid on all of that commission. So the company made a decision about the way they wanted to market this product, and they could have gone a different way with it, put it on the shelf, but they decided that they wanted people to have the experience of better health and better relationships, and also being the beneficiaries of those testimonies, helping to make an impact and change lives. I feel like there's something beyond the vision of money. It's much more of a mission of significance and impact, and quite meaningful. So we are certainly getting the benefits of that business model, and we love it. We work really hard for our team, with our team. We love supporting everybody on the journey. And so a lot of people are looking at this like, wow, you know, well, what is the other alternative? And if this opportunity was taken away from us right now, none of us would be happy, guarantee that. So we love that it's such a privilege to have this product, something so powerful that sells itself, that's low impact, low cost, high impact, and it's really changing lives. And to be part of that, and in a way that we can pick and choose, you know, the level of involvement.
Yeah. Nolene, can you just clarify what you mean in terms of groups? Like, do you mean sporting groups? Do you mean?
Okay, so I'm a health practitioner, I'm a homeopath.
Okay.
But also I am part of New Zealand's PHA, which is the People's Health Alliance, and we're opening up health hubs throughout New Zealand. And I'd like to know if you would do a presentation to us as a group, PHA, which goes across New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I did one a couple of weeks ago when I was in Melbourne for the diabetes. Some people from diabetes. So yeah, we're absolutely open to doing. If we've got people that you want to that have reach that you would really like us to talk to, definitely open. Doing that for you. So what are you guys bound by any sort of I don't know, regulations on what you can promote or advocate or anything like that?
No, we're not bound by anything. It's an organic organization that is for the people and by the people, creating
I got goosebumps.
hubs.
Amazing.
Can I just say something? I actually started talking about the golden drops from PHA as well. And I got a bit ticked off because she said, is it a business or network marketing or something like of multi-level marketing? So that's something you need to be aware of, that they're not, you know, yeah.
You know,
But just
to answer that,
I'm on the group as well, and yeah, they just asked us to private message people rather than to do it as a big group. That was the feedback that I've got. I'm a friend with one of the Wellington admins. Yeah.
Hello, Lynette. Nice to see you, darling.
It's a small crowd, right?
It's definitely a good group because so many people got issues and they're asking for advice and for help, and actually reach out to a couple of people, and then I got sort of, you know.
So and just on that too, though, that there is a network marketing component if you want to build a business as a distributor and have teams, but if you just purely want to become a wholesaler so that you can retail product, and say the club or the organization itself has a wholesale account so that they can purchase product and share, sell, that's also possible. That's what I mean. It is quite flexible. So there is a social selling component to the model, but it doesn't have to be the entire way that the product is distributed.
But there are products that are going out through them. There are other products coming through. I don't know, Davey and Lynette, if you're aware of that. But anyway.
Sorry, say that again?
There are other products going through them.
Yeah, I saw that as well, yeah. But
So
I had just started with Vidify. I was really very enthusiastic about it, and I thought, well, that person could be helped. The person could be helped, and actually, you know, sort of said, like, approached them and said, "Are you interested in trying this out?" And a few people said, "Yeah, I love it." And then I got like, you know,
You know, and
so
we
I stepped back a bit.
we had another couple of organizations that were somebody in our team. She's not on the call tonight, but I think there was an organization for fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, long COVID. I can't exactly remember that, but she put together a great email with the science and said, look, I'd really like to donate some bottles so that some of your members can trial the product for free and see that they get the results that we're talking about are possible. So there's a lot of ways you can kind of present the opportunity for people to try the product, or but obviously people in those positions have to be very careful about what they allow in, what they advocate, what they promote, because they have to protect the interests of their members, of course. So we understand that. But I think it's always nice, because we have the science, that we can send the science along with an email and say, this is what we're prepared to do because we really believe it's helping people. Great.
Marvet, you got a question?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for today. I have a friend who had MS, and she treated herself with natural products. She refused all the drugs. She's doing well, but she always had numbness. She had numb feet all the time, especially in the morning. When she got onto the drops, she said that in the morning she does not have the numbness in the feet. It comes back at night though, which I guess means that she needs to be a bit longer on the products to achieve some serious results. But she also wants to give it to her son in Serbia. And she asked me how she could get it there, and I said definitely from me, but how do I go about that?
Couple of things. Just want to ask you, so is she taking the drops in the morning?
Morning and night.
Morning and night. Okay, so what I would recommend first would be potentially, she's taking 5 drops in the morning, she could increase to 10 drops at night from 5. So normally people will take 10 drops in the morning, or 5 and 5, or 10 drops at night. But she could just slightly increase the amount of drops at night in the nighttime dose. And there's different reasons for why it stays in the body, at different times. But to give it a boost, or she could try putting 3 drops just on her tongue before she goes to bed. And we find that with, if we ever get a migraine, or we've been too busy or too much on the computer or whatever, my daughter with, period pain and endometriosis, just 3 drops on the tongue starts to alleviate. So it can be really effective to use as a kind of almost like a remedy, rescue remedy, or an emergency pain reliever. So there's that. Now with Serbia, it's not an open country. It's not on the, it's not an EU country. So we don't have, at this stage, I don't think there's the scope right just yet to go there. But if you're able to send it over and it can get through customs, then that's probably the best bet. It's a bit tricky because you start to think about all the people who need the product and how far that reaches. And if it's not on the company's radar to do a pre-launch into a country, it's a hard one, because you sort of feel mean for setting people up with the product and then they get results, and then if they can't continue to access the product. But every country that's opened has had a person who's prepared to do the pre-launch effort and has contacts in that receiving country. So they usually will get the product shipped, start shipping it over to their contacts over in that country, and then it can start to grow, and then the company can look at doing all the regulatory stuff. So, but if it's personal use, then just maybe sending 6 bottles at a time, something like that would work. That seems to be a nice personal use amount. Sometimes in countries, if customs have a look and say, well, there's 48 bottles, that doesn't look like personal use, they won't let it go through, or they'll send it back. So you want to make sure that it's a small enough amount that it will go sort of undetected as anything that's going to be resold or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so perhaps the mum could join with a personal pack and she could ship it off.
Yeah. Where is she in Melbourne?
Yes.
Yeah. I'd say that's the best idea.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Great result.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nolene asked about macular degeneration. Does it help? This is where this is where it gets interesting, right? Because again, we're a dietary supplement, right? And because you hear all these phenomenal results, so in a closed group, we get a lot of questions about particular states of health. If you ever get into that position though with somebody, the best resource to use is go to PubMed. And as soon as you did that, I went straight there, and it had a scientific part abstracted paper. Yeah, I can put it on here right now, which will show you.
Actually, I've got PubMed open.
Okay.
You'll see that one. So here it is.
So just put in
So
there.
if you just have curcumin, just quickly, curcumin. Oh, didn't like that. Curcumin. Type in curcumin to PubMed. So just curcumin, you get 22,000 results for curcumin. And if you type in, what do you make?
Degeneration. So that top one there is a study done on the effectiveness of curcumin. Now you can say, oh, was it a Vitify product? It doesn't have to be. I mean, the thing is that it's about what curcumin does, right? And so this is a real powerful tool for us. Again, we don't want to feel like we get into the science part of it, or trying to say, oh, or treating, right? So I'll only ever do this sort of kind of behind closed doors type thing. So when someone does ask, you'll generally find some study on PubMed in relation to curcumin, and obviously what you've asked, Nolene. So yeah, I've had it a few times, and it's a great resource because how are we supposed to know? So you can use that amazing resource, right, to help you out. I just want to talk about something about like business, right? Because I've been in a few businesses myself of my own. And one of the things I was really curious about when I saw this product and the testimonials, I was just like, wow. And then this question came up for me. I was like, yeah, but what if people don't then take it, right? Because they're feeling so good, right? And that's not to be like selfish about, oh, that's going to really affect the business, because I've heard many times of some amazing products that have come on to the market space and people have taken them, and then all of a sudden they're like, wow, I feel great. I mean, who doesn't, right? I don't need to take it anymore. So that was a kind of an area of concern for me initially, and then as the the months rolled by, I started hearing some incredible stories from people saying that they were blown away because they were seeing people with really chronic states of health had really amazing benefits on the product. Then by chance they ran out of product and weren't able to get product quick enough. Then they found that they almost reverted, not necessarily back to where it was, but they showed signs, all of them that I've spoken to showed signs of reverting back to their a lot of the ailments that they had before. And I was like, well, that's crazy. Then they got back on the product, and then whoop, away they went again. So from a business perspective, if I have my business hat on, I'm like, okay, well, that's great. At least it's still helping somebody. But also from being able to sort of get into a business that creates sort of volume and people using it. This shows some remarkable ability to sort of keep customers, keep your sort of kind of cash flow going, if you will.
But I think also it does depend on what the ailments are, what the body's doing, whether it's a chronic condition that starts resolving once the inflammation's cleared, then the body can start the healing process that it couldn't quite get around to before. Sometimes it's an acute situation, like with asthma, for instance. The result of that could be exposure to pollens, to weather changes, etc. So for me, I feel like I need to keep, I want to keep taking the drops. So it doesn't mean that somebody has to be on them forever. I mean, if their body starts resolving things, they don't need to. But a lot of people really like the improved sleep. give you one very short example. About 2 months ago, I just decided to do an experiment, stop the drops for a week to see what happened with my asthma. And actually my asthma was fine, but my sleep went back to awful before I was on the drop. So I thought, no, I don't want that. So back on the drop. So it's it's a personal choice. We definitely can't say it will treat anything. It's the body returning to balance and function. Yeah, and obviously if you're taking Gillian asked a question here, but just generally, if you're on other medication or you're able to get levels tested medically, do it, because what we've found, Serge's mum is a great example. She keeps getting her bloods back and has been able to reduce medication, warfarin, thyroid medication, other things as well, because the curcumin is helping her body to return to balance. So if you can get any, reports of liver damage, thanks for bringing that up. No, that there was a lot of, hype around that article and those, that document, that the story that came out on like a Channel 9 media or something in Australia about liver damage and how, turmeric and curcumin kills people. This for us is a great thing because we have so little curcumin in 10 drops. There's actually only about 31 to 33 milligrams of curcumin in one dose, whereas you'd be taking 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 if you're taking a normal type of curcumin. So that could stress the liver potentially, and certainly if you're adding black pepper, that can really stress the liver. But in our products, it's such a small amount because it's so effective because of the nanotech and the delivery system. You don't need bucket loads of it, and it doesn't go through the digestive system anyway. It goes straight into the bloodstream. The only thing to get excreted out is the delivery system. So the curcumin's uptaken by the cells. So we've got all that science, and we actually like that question now. So it's not anything to be afraid of.
Yeah, you're right, Lynette. I mean, if you started on, say, if you had a chronic state of health and you wanted to take, say, 20 or 30 drops, meaning maybe 15 in the morning, 15 in the evening, and, you found that you started getting really good results and you could take less, definitely. I've done it on some occasions, just felt like, okay, I'll take less for a little while. So not a problem.
And sometimes more, like you can up it if you, feel like a cold's coming on. And the reason I took notice in the beginning was because it's, I was told that it was helping people with long COVID and back injuries. So that's the question.
Andy, can you ask your question? And then Elizabeth, your testimonial, I'd love to hear. Apparently you've got a testimonial. So, and if you want to unmute, you can.
Oh, hey guys, how you going?
Thank you.
Andy from Paraparaumu in Wellington. First of all, I'd like to thank Wendy for inviting me on here, and also I'd like to thank her for shouting me and my partner to Steve and Samara Keller's
great
seminar in Wellington on Thursday. Yeah, it was really, really great. First of all, I've been on. Wendy introduced me to the drops a couple of months ago. I'd like to probably testify for those that where it's taken a little bit longer. You read these wonderful testimonies of people where they've had results in hours sometimes and days and everything like that. And then you go on for a couple of months and you're like, well, when's my results? But I'm a painter. I do a lot of climbing up ladders and work like that. 3 months ago, I was really worried about my knees. Both of them were starting to default on me. And I actually said to my partner, I really don't know how long I can go on, with this, because it's a very important part of my work, as it is with anybody who does that kind of work, And Wendy introduced me to the drops, and I didn't have. I had probably a 50% improvement in the first couple of months, and then I decided to swap from the straight curcumin with the vitamin D3 to the curcumin with the vitamin C, because I'd done a little bit of research on vitamin C, and I'd researched that it was a very important component that went into rebuilding cartilage. And to do with joints and stuff. So I thought, maybe the vitamin C might work well with the curcumin. They might aid each other. So I swapped over probably about 2.5 weeks ago, and I doubled my dose from 5 drops in the morning, 5 drops in the evening to 10 drops in the morning, 10 drops in the evening. I'm actually starting to notice some significant results now.
Wow.
I'd say probably about 70%. You know, every now and then the knees remind me that, you know, they're not giving up on me yet. Yeah. But so that's my testimony. But I wanted to ask you, Rebecca, from the meeting the other night that we had with Stephen, that I got a quick chance to talk to him, and I heard that a few people online, and you in particular, Rebecca, and you touched on it before about you'd given away your drops to potential customers and that, you know, and I it's not a biggie to me, really, you know, but I did ask Steve. I said, look, I said, what do you think about that, you know? And he said no, I wouldn't. I said, oh, okay, well, why's that? And he said, well, it tends to take away the value. If you give someone something for free, it tends to take away the value of the product, you know. And so basically what I'm asking is, obviously he's successful, and you guys are doing really well too, and I just wanted to ask you what you think about that.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely answer that. So I think there's two parts to that. The first, my motivation was that I was so elated that I'd had this miracle result, and I thought, who are the people that I know that really need this product? And part of that was also to do my own market research. So I picked 11, I think I had 12 bottles. I think I retained one for myself and sent 11 out. So it's on my testimonial and disruptive wellness, and also the hub. You know, you can see the photos of the bottles that I sent. And I picked somebody who had a child that had been injured with immunisation that I knew could not afford the drops. She could not afford 1 bottle of drops. I sent her a bottle in the mail, and she cried when she got it. And she said, from the first dose I gave my daughter, it makes me emotional just talking about it. The first dose I gave my daughter, she was calm, she was more centered, she was more loving, you know, so she had a great, and then she joined us in the business. It took her a few weeks to get the money together, etc. But the part of that was I wanted to share something with people and gift something, because I'd had this unexpected miracle result, and I thought that was a gift. I did pay for my first bottle to trial, but it's just what I felt. I was moved.
Well, it's the reason why I'm asking you the question, because it's what I feel as well. You know, like I was thinking, what a great idea. You know, of course we love to help people. You know, and I'll give all. You know, I thought I'll give all of it away. You know,
well, and it's a bit tricky. When I weighed it up, I thought, well, the other thing we do really recommend is that when you're in business for yourself and you've invested in product and wholesale and you've paid the shipping and you've waited months to get it and whatever, then you have the right to sell it at retail. And it's a great message to send other people that if they want to buy the bottle from you and you've chatted about what you do and they're really interested and they ask you how much does it cost, and you say, well, do you want to pay retail or wholesale? Because it's your choice. Sell it at retail, because that sends a signal to them that the product has value. But if they join, they could also sell it at retail and they'd be never, you know, out of pocket, and they could make a profit. However, I didn't ask those people initially whether they wanted to buy my product. I just sent it out, and I thought it would be hard for me to go to them and say, look, I've got something I think you need and I think you should pay me for it. But if somebody asks and says, how much is it? Can I get some? Sure. You know, here's 10 bottles at retail. But it's about you kind of make that decision about based on, you know, what you feel your motivation.
I kind of feel the same. I've got to admit, you know, I've got a couple of people that I know, as we all do, you know, that could really do with.
Look, you can't go wrong.
Stuff, and it's you know.
It's part of this is the heart, you know, and Stephen Keller is very successful, but he didn't build a business as fast as we did. So I got to say that. He didn't. We did this in 80 days. You know, I don't know, it took him a week, but now I'm getting competitive. But I think it's part of the heart. It's part of this product
Yeah,
is
yeah.
special. And a lot of people have said, oh, I can feel it before I get it. I know it's going to help me. I can't. And I had that experience. It kind of captured me, took hold of me, and I couldn't really look away from it. And I knew that I needed to listen to that. So if you're a heart-centered person and you feel that's part of your goodwill that you want to share, absolutely.
Oh,
do
it is
that.
very
There'll
much.
be
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people you can charge retail for, and others that you'll just swap bottles with, or you'll charge wholesale if they're getting in and joining your business. So I think you use the drops as currency, and you feel like what it's sort of a reflection of your generosity and how you feel.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the team. I'm really
Thank you.
excited for your journey.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah.
We'll go Elizabeth and then Donovan.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm on my phone. We've got no internet here, so
Oh,
I wanted to come on and just share that when I got the drops, I'm going through menopause. I'm 51, and for over a year I've had aches and pains in my hips. I've been doing all sorts of stuff, Pilates, health stuff and all that sort of, and even with all of that, right deep into the sort of the joint, it was just really achy. We've got lots of stairs. I live in a 3 split level house, and so I just felt like an invalid getting up and down the stairs all the time, having to brace myself to roll over in bed. And within a week of starting the drops, all of it's gone.
Wow.
So that's really beautiful. But one of the reasons I jumped on just now is because the lady that was just speaking about the numbness, about 2 years ago, I had a 4.5 centimeter brain tumor removed from the back of my head. And so, it was a really big cut, and I've always had numbness since the back. Like, they got the whole thing and it was all very successful, but I've always had numbness. But as she was just saying that, I thought to sort of just touch the back of my head, and I've just realized I've got no numbness anymore. So it was like until she said that, I didn't realize, because it's not a part that you really touch. So so all the numbness has gone in the back of my head, which is awesome.
Wow, remarkable. All right.
I just know
love that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Wow.
Okay, Donovan, you had a question?
Yeah, Donovan, you gotta unmute.
There you go.
It's actually Christelle.
Yeah, he's chickening out.
Okay.
No, Joe, you're just picking on me because there are not many guys on board, are there?
It's not actually a question, but I just wanted, I don't know who it was that asked about the dosage. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm going to say it, based on our testimonial. Braca, who is my 7-year-old, broke her toe. I sent a picture of the x-ray to your phone now, Rebecca.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. And you see that break. It's northeast.
It's 45
degrees angle break, completely broke. It snapped off.
Oh my
wow.
God. Can I just share that?
Yep.
That's a pretty serious break.
She was in excruciating pain when the school rang us. So her and her youngest, I've got 3 daughters, 18, 12, and 7. So the 7 and the 12-year-old are both on EpiPens. My 12-year-old, who was in a crutch and moon boot a week prior to last week's episode, is out of the moon boot and the crutch. Braca went into the hospital. She was screaming blue murder. We had to carry her. Nothing was helping. She couldn't even take the ibuprofen because she was in pain. Took her home. This happened at 12:30.
Yeah.
We got home from the hospital at about 3:00. I gave her 1 dose of 10 drops. She's 7. 20 minutes later, Braca is running around like a mad hatter, jumping, hopping, skipping. 4 drops just before she went to bed. And since then, I've been giving her 10 drops in the morning. Her focus at school is, she's a really bright girl, but this is like accelerated. And this is beyond, she's not had any painkillers. She's on homeopathic medicines as well, but I've forgotten to give her the homeopathic pills. I've just been giving her the curcumin.
Wow. All right.
So when it comes to dosage, I know the bottle says X, Y, and Z, but I'm into natural things. I've always been since the days we were back in South Africa. And
I come from a medical background, although I'm not a doctor. I've been in medical general management for a while. Not anymore though, since COVID. And you can figure out why. But
lots of supporters here.
To look at the regenerative properties of this in terms of bone growth and healing, I've never seen anything like this, because the recommended time frame for something like this is 6 to 8 weeks. This child was weight bearing on the same day,
20 minutes after taking the drops.
on that foot. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, a couple of hours before that, I was carrying her into the ED, carried her out. And I mean, probably the worst thing was when the doctor had to set her back place with no painkillers. You just hear this child screaming. Yeah, it's just unprecedented. I've not seen any product do that. And there's no cast on it. It's just the
She
toes
doesn't
are
have
just
a
been held
cast.
together
She's
by
got
tape.
plaster tape
There's tape that
we've got on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it.
When's
So-
your, that's phenomenal. Someone was saying there, is she getting another X-ray?
Yeah, I'd actually like to. She's
repeat
under,
one.
She's
Yeah.
under orthopedic surgeon, because they're both, my two younger ones have severe bone density issues. So I am curious to see the next bloods, what happens with the next blood sets for both of my girls.
yeah.
Wow.
My 12-year-old who was in the moon boot and the crutch, Shiloh had, I'll just get the date up. The date is the 14th of August. She went into the cast and the crutches. By the 17th, out of the crutches. By the Friday the 18th, no moon boot, no crutches. She's running. She's written all her ICAS exams, or external exams, no painkillers, nothing.
Yeah.
Except the drops. And she's just getting, I give her 10 drops in the morning.
The one thing that we're trialing with Bob Brecker and Shiloh is the autoimmune reversal process of this.
Yeah.
Because Shiloh's condition, the 12-year-old, is vaccine induced. So
Yeah,
she was
as
given
a baby.
as a baby
She was given
against BCG.
BCG.
Because we're from South Africa, even though she was born in New Zealand and she's a New Zealand citizen, she shouldn't have been given that. But against our advice, then
You said, no, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So I did. And I
So-
should have.
So
not.
we're quite keen, and that will probably be the next testimonial.
Yeah.
of an autoimmune.
Cannot wait to hear that. That's
Honestly, I-
staggering. Wow.
I can't, just the feeling is, and so can I just ask, just for the benefit of everyone else, like you guys have only been introduced to the drops, what, like a week ago or a week and a half, 2 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does this make you feel about sharing and selling and the whole thing about, I mean, what is this, what do you feel you're going to be able to do with this?
Oh, it's,
With network marketing, you always, like Sergio said, you always have this thing. Now, I've got a very strong business background, although I trained in clinical neuropsych. I don't practice. But my business brain, when you do network marketing, you always find these products that have it great with taking off, great with hype. And then the product reliability sort of fails just before the 60% mark, and it dwindles. This, it's an ethical sell, if I could actually coin the term, because you're not selling something that's not going to work. You're selling I call it, it's almost like a medical renaissance, an awakening of health within one's body. It's all in this little product, and you're making somebody aware of it. And yes, it costs money to actually produce it, but when you compare it to stuff that's out there in the market, it's insignificant. And like you said, Rebecca, you get a chance to make your money back, or improve your health, add quality of life, you just can't go wrong with it.
Yeah.
And obviously the other thing is savings to, you know, people that are on medication that can stop pets. My God, the vet bills reducing because pets don't need the same expensive meds and surgeries and things like that. So there's a whole lot of other benefits here that we're just starting to explore as well. But so excited for you guys to be on the journey with us. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's just super heartwarming. You couldn't ask for anything more.
Wow, crazy.
Good.
It's amazing.
Used to spend $200 a month on supplements. This is a real foundational supplement too. So sometimes people have a whole bunch of protocols and suites of supplements, but if you can deal with the inflammation first and foremost, then my feeling is not that you'd have to stop anything else, but certainly the things that you are taking might be more effective. You might need less of them. You could reduce or minimize or just refine the things that you need. So it's the scope's pretty exciting. We've got a lot of work to do as a team, I think, just sharing
Nice.
and just getting this into the hands of as many people as possible, and waiting for all those stories to come back. It's wonderful. All right. So I think we've kept you all long enough, and thanks for staying for the duration. And we have this call again on Monday next week, so please come along, bring some people, invite them. The testimonies are super powerful, and as we said, the presentation's available if anybody wants access to it. If you're not in the hub, just ask the person who brought you here to invite you into the hub, and you can access all of our material, everything you need, videos, interviews.
Welcome, Gillian.
Welcome,
to the group.
Gillian.
Wow, amazing.
Welcome. Who did you sign with? Who's your?
Debbie.
Oh, Debbie, right. Oh, Gillian, right. You were on a call with Denise. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, because I couldn't make it. Yeah, welcome. Good. It's great stuff. So yeah, we do have a lot of medical professionals, wellness practitioners, nurses, doctors, naturopaths, really championing the product and figuring out. And I know in Australia too, with the AMA, it's a bit tricky. So there's some doctors that mostly you can't sort of build a business within your practice, but outside of that, you certainly could. But what we're finding here in New Zealand, especially, is that doctors are really well receiving. Curcumin is a commodity. It's a well-known supplement anyway. It's got all that science anyway. So we've known in Australia people, a woman that was in hospital had it, but the doctors put it on her. They charted it for her, and she was started off with 1 drop and then went up to, I think it was 60 drops, something like that. And within 70 days, she walked out of hospital. She was not leaving, and they asked, "Look, this is the last resort. Could we put her on the curcumin?" And they said, "Sure, it's curcumin." So we've had the same experience in New Zealand, and we're excited about what we could do with helping people access the product who might not be able to afford it later. And there's just a lot of scope here. So. Great. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much, and we shall hopefully see you all next Monday. We want these meetings to explode, and we want hundreds of people on our calls. And yeah.
Oh, you got the phone number, Arlene?
Yeah. Okay. Gave you my number. Oh, I put it in the chat. Hang on. Did you not get it? I put my number in the chat for you. Do you want to just write it? Do you get a pen? Yeah. 021 747 282. So just send me a text and we'll connect about doing a presentation for your group.
Thank you once again. Wow, what a amazing evening. Mind-blowing actual testimonials, to be honest. Every Monday I get, I'm just kind of speechless really, but thank you all. We will hopefully see you all very soon.
Yep. Got it. Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining.
That was